She was trying to be a good student, is what she was doing. She was trying to focus and maintain being in a school district that's academically aggressive, being in a family that everybody's pretty bright, just trying to keep up and not feeling maybe a sense of having the ability to do that completely.
Started with school-aid pills with Adderall, Ritalin. I believe I started because I wanted to maintain my grades. My first semester in 9th grade, I got straight A's. And it was fun for me. I enjoyed doing it. And as I continued to move through high school, there was a whole different culture that was in high school. There was partying on the weekends started and meeting all new people, going from a school of 300 kids in middle school to 800 kids in high school. Your social life just increases vastly. And I wanted to be part of that and enjoy my high school years, but I also wanted to make sure I maintained my grades. I wanted to do the best that I could do in everything that I was doing. And the only way I knew how to do it without exhausting myself and being able to maintain the speed that I was doing it at was to take pills. I got them all through friends from all the way through high school. They're pretty much just floating the halls. If you talked to the right people, knew the people to get them from, it was not hard at all.
We had no idea that any of that was going on, absolutely none. A lot of it we thought was a normal teenage reaction of isolation, depression. When I say depression, I mean, it's not the bubbly self, just sort of kind of stuff, and sleeping late and that kind of stuff. So we didn't really think it was out of the ordinary.
They would see my report cards. My grades were good for them. I would do my shenanigans in high school, have, my friends over, go to parties on the weekends, but because of my grades, they weren't concerned about it. They thought it was just normal high school behavior. So there was no red flags that were raised for them, and if there were, my grades would calm their nerves about it. I was really looking for some Ritalin for my finals, and I couldn't find any, so I called this one girl who I thought would absolutely have a connection. I called her, she told me she did, but that they were different looking pills and they cost a little bit more. So I was like, I'll give it a shot, not a problem. It ended up being methadone. After the methadone, I got more into downers because I liked them a lot better, and because it made me feel like I was my normal self. Because I could, it would kind of slow me down enough to be able to sit down and focus and not be wandering my mind thinking about different things. I started to get more into pills, more into opiates of different kind, and the next step after that, you're gonna pay $80 for 2 pills of Oxycontin, or you can go down the street and pay $10 and that'll last you 2 days for some heroin, and then that quickly rolls out of control into, okay, $10, $20, $30, $40, $50 a day. I was up past that pretty fast. I would go in her room and see her doing lines of Adderall and Ritalin with her books in front of her. I was so gone at that time, I would kind of just chuckle to myself, oh, that's like a younger me right there, and so I wouldn't stop her. I wouldn't tell her that it was wrong. I'm like, oh, well, she's just trying to have her fun and do good in school because, she has a dream for herself too.
daughter who passed away a half hour before she died, I actually said to her in the house, I said, I'm really starting to worry about you. You're starting to hang around with the wrong kids. And her answer, these were her last words, don't worry about me, Dad. I know what that crap does to people. And I believed her. And she looked normal. Everything was fine. And she went into her room and we were going to leave in half an hour to go do something. And when I went up to get her, she was gone.
It was an overdose, a drug overdose. I can't tell you where she got the drugs. It was heroin, and I don't know how she took them. It was crazy. I had just gotten back from picking up with my friend, and because I was out of drugs, and I come back to the home and I'm too busy in the bathroom shooting up, trying to get my fix, that I couldn't even, hear my dad yelling, what's going on? Hold on, I'm in the bathroom. And, come to find out that she was in her room, her book's open, and not responding. It's the same day my sister passed away. She was in the hospital for 2 days, and I was still shooting up. I was shooting up in the hospital bathroom. So that day is my clean date. And I can't say I was still in my right mind, but I have not used since then. Only with new life can you understand death. And it's ironic how that happened, the death and my new life in the same day, and it really hits home for me because if I were to mess up, I could never get that clean date back. And that day is so significant for me that I'm gonna make sure it's written in my history.
I think when my daughter came out of the second rehab, as we were on our way to head her out west into a longer term program, she started crying in the car. She was really upset, saying, it's my fault that my sister died. And I yelled at her, of course it is. It's your fault, and it's my fault for not being there. It's your mom's fault for not being there. It's your brother's fault for not being there. It's your other sister's fault. It's the school's fault. It's everybody's fault. We all contributed. Nobody was there at that time, or however long it was where she was struggling with that. So yeah, it is your fault, but it's not all your fault. You always replay everything. You go back and you replay every little thing that you could have done better. And after you beat yourself up enough for that, you stop doing it.
We put them through a lot, and they've forgiven me, and they still love me and welcome me home, and it's beautiful. I don't deserve it, and I'm thankful and blessed that they would have me back in the family and did not write me off. I love life right now. I love everything I do. I love my family, my friends. I wouldn't trade my support for the world. And I kind of laugh at, my beginning clean self whenever I was first starting to get clean. Why was I scared for this? I can't tell you where I would be had I not taken my first drug, popped my first pill, but I would not be as sure about what I want to do and where I want to go with my life as I am now.